What is up, my fellow gamers? In today's video, we got our best hero guide for the mobile game Nexus War Civilization. Like and sub for more amazing gaming content. Server I'm in is actually entering season 2. We got season pre-launch with a bunch of different information, some new heroes, a bunch of different things going on. But for this video, we're talking all about our heroes. So some suggestions for new players, which ones to level up, which ones to focus on, which is good for whatever it may be. All right, so here we go. I'm not gonna go over every single one, but we'll go over most of them. Now, the legendaries, I'm not really gonna go over any of the legendaries because all the legendaries are just super strong in this game. They have an extra skill as opposed to the epics that only have 3. You'll see this one only has 3. The legendaries, they have 4. And if we take a look, even the rares only have 3. So by far, the legendaries in this game are super duper strong. So anytime you're able to get a legendary, you should try and use them. However, I will say that it is a bit difficult to go ahead and power up their skills. You need mementos of that specific character, which is kind of just like their puzzle pieces or their shards, whatever you want to call it. So after you go ahead and you pull the hero, you basically have to pull the hero again to get the shards. In the top right corner, we have our story. You should go through and do this with every single hero. It's pretty simple. Each one has 3 different archives, and if you click on it, a lot of these are just super simple things to do. I already did all the ones for Fluffy, but if we take a look at something like this one, we have upgrade the hero rank 15 times. So I just got to do this one more, and then we get free 5 epic beacons, so we can go ahead and summon more. The best part about this is the hero ranks can be reset and you can get all of your materials back. So a really cool trick to do is anytime you pull a new hero, go ahead and complete this instantly. Just reset another hero. All you got to do is come over to here, go over to where your upgrade is, just click reset, and then you're going to get all of the materials back. And then whatever hero you haven't completed their archives tier 2 to get this free 5 summon beacons, just go ahead, upgrade them to rank 15. Now, early on, you're going to get this guy right here, Fluffy. He's a really good jungler early game, but once you do get to like mid game, end game throughout your season, you are going to get better junglers. But early on, this character is worth building out. Certain gatherers, you really don't need to worry about their main like attack skill. This guy has 1 shot, 1 kill where he does a bunch of damage. You're not going to be using this hero at all for battle. You're strictly just using this guy for his passive bonuses, which goes ahead and increases your gathering speed. And then the third one increases your team's load capacity by 20% when it's maxed out. That is it. Early on, you don't have any other heroes and you want to do a lot of attacking other players. That's really the only instance where I see it's worth it to go ahead and level this up. I did level mine up to 7 because I was kind of doing some more PvP combat very early on with this character, like before I had any other stronger heroes that are more dedicated to attacking. So that's like the only instance. Otherwise, you should max out his gathering skills first and just use him as a gatherer, and then kind of upgrade this over time as you just have extra mementos of him, because you will max out your rares fairly quickly in this game because you're going to get a ton of them every time you do summons. Another one that's really strong, and I would say this is one of the top tier epics, and that is the K-Man. He is a balance with control, really strong controlling effects. Upgrading his first skill, he goes ahead and has a chance to leave the target stunned for a round. If this lands on your opponent, especially in PvP combat, this can be such a devastating attack on them, meaning they're stunned and they can't do anything for that round. You can get this to go off at least once. That is such a huge advantage. And if it triggers twice back-to-back rounds, you're really looking good at that point. Using your mementos on to go ahead and upgrade, if you do have any of those epic mementos, those universal shards, this is definitely a hero that it's worth using on because K-Man is really strong. You're going to be using him all the time in PvP combat, especially early game. You can get him early game before a lot of other players have really good heroes. You can dominate your server PvP wise. Now, if we scroll all the way down, there are some other heroes that are epic, like Pam right here. That is a gatherer and balance, but these are the type of gatherers that you actually want to use mid to late game. So early game, you can kind of get away with using those gatherers that I suggested, where they increase your gathering speed and your load capacity, because most of the time early game, you don't have to worry about people tile hitting you, meaning you're out gathering on a specific tile and then you have someone else come and attack you while you're trying to gather. It usually doesn't happen too much early game, but it's going to depend on your server. But these ones though, once you get to mid to end game and people are really doing a lot of tile attacking and stuff, Pam, this specific hero, and there's also another one that I'll suggest, they have different passive abilities that are going to help more with kind of defending when you are trying to gather resources and you're having opponents constantly try and tile hit you. And those are going to be stuff like this. We get our gathering speed, but we also have this one where increase the hero-led team's attack by a percentage. And the other one is Clav, and this again was mentioned in the guide. These two, having Pam with Clav as a gathering team, is really strong, and that's because he has gathering speed increased by 10%, but then we also have increased the hero-led's attack by a percentage during gathering. Whenever we're going ahead and we're out there resource gathering, we're going to get 10% extra attack. Another hero that's just really good for defending against tile hitting. As far as some of the best rare heroes to invest in, this I would say is probably the best damage dealing rare. We have a Janelia, however you say this name, the Rising Phoenix chick right here. She has a really strong first attack skill, Scorching Fire Stream. Deals a ton of elemental damage to one random enemy team. And one more quick thing that I want to go over for heroes is a really good example that their skills will trigger only during specific rounds. However, it is a 100% chance that it goes off. What I mean by that is this one right here, this leadership skill, Thunderclap Crash. 100% chance to go off, and it goes off during rounds 1, 3, 5, and 7. That's a lot of rounds. Now, after round 7, of course, it does go ahead and it just doesn't trigger anymore. That is guaranteed. And if we take a look at this one, Roaring Thunder, we have round 1, 3, 5, and 7. Again, guaranteed chance to do all of this damage, where Catherine has an active skill that only has a 40% chance to go ahead and trigger. Now, this does have the chance to trigger every single round, but it's a 40% chance, whereas the other one that we just went over, that other hero, it is a guaranteed chance that you're doing tons of damage round 1, 3, 5, and 7. The battle may not even last more than 7 rounds, and if it does, you go ahead and you deal all that damage in those first 7 rounds. By then, your enemy's troops are pretty low and they're dwindling down, and you really don't have to worry too much about taking a lot of damage. So in this type of game, you really want to hit your opponent as hard as possible very fast in those early rounds. These skills right here, where there's like a 40% chance or a 35% chance to go ahead and trigger, they're not that great because it's such a low percentage chance. Even if it can happen every round from round 8, 9, 10, let's say you have a long battle, it doesn't matter. You really want to look out for heroes that have that 100% skill chance that is guaranteed, and it's going to deal damage on specific rounds. You know you're going to be hitting the enemy really hard and taking tons of their troops away. That is it. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this video. Stay happy, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.